Hello, my continued video. Today we're gonna take a look at one of the best teams for the Open Great League. I built a team again for myself here as well because I wanted to try out Dugong. And I was thinking, do I go for the classic route of going for Annihilate Bleed, stay sub of Dugong and the Bastion in the back? And I was like, not really, I don't really want to run this. I feel like this team is a little bit too weak against other Annihilate, and so what I rather did here, I decided to go for my Shadow Sableye in the lead. You can also use the normal Sableye, it does not have to be Shadow Sableye. I like the Shadow variant a little bit better for this kind of team, but if you don't have the Shadow variant, but you have the normal variant, go for the normal variant. It's totally fine. Have fun with that, totally okay. And in the back we're going to not have a Bastion, but we're going to have a very similar type of Pokemon. We're going to have the Galarian Stunfisk, a Pokemon that basically nobody is using anymore, but honestly is so good in the current meta. Like, people completely forgot about this thing. I have no idea why, but like, this thing is amazing. Like, this still has the same amount of bulk as back in the day. Of course, both Rock Slide and Earthquake got nerfed over the years, but still, like, this thing is still slapping here, as we can see. This team was so dominant. Like, honestly, this team was so insanely dominant. It was quite mad. Would really recommend you to try it out. I think I went 10-3 with this team, which is like around the 77% win rate, which is ridiculous. So for sure a good team to use. Here we're going to be able to catch a move onto our Dugong with the opponent's Gligar while still getting that one Ice Shot in, and that is quite lovely as they swap out into the Skarmory. And this is a cool thing about Dugong in the current meta as well. You're going to be able to break those double flying cores, which is quite important because what we're gonna see here now as well is them trying to go for a Sky Attack. They're going to be able to get up all the energy here in the world, totally fine for me, but I'm going to be able to get them super low. And also, I can now go into my Galarian Stunfisk, which can resist all moves from the opponent, literally everything. But also, we can now hopefully go for the full farm down as they're going to be debuffed. Now we get a ton of energy here. If they want to go back into their Gligar, that's fine, but I decided to go into their Annihilate, as I can go for the Earthquake, do quite a lot of damage, and swap out straight away into my own Sableye. I make a little bit of a risky play here, which I should have most likely not done like this, but I decided to go for the full farm down against the opponent. I should have most likely went for a charge move before they went for their first own charge move, but it is what it is. We're gonna overfarm it quite a bit. Now we have to hope that we can still get both foul plays off here. First one coming through, let's see if this is going to work. They're gonna get a shield up here, and yes, the second one is still coming through, allowing us to win the battle here with our Shadow variant of Sableye. Well, let's take a look at the next opponent. This is the main reason why I want to go for Shadow Sableye in the lead. The amount of Annihilate, if you saw my last video that I saw in the lead, I was just like, it was insane how many Annihilate I saw in the lead, and I kind of want to kind of wall this Pokemon here, and so that's why we went for the Sableye instead of the Annihilate for this team here. And so we're gonna swap out now after we hit a one charge move against the Dugong into our own Dugong and go for an Icy Wind, because we just saw the damage output of one Drill Run. We know that it's not going to be enough to really threaten, the opponent's knockout there yet, but now we should be able to threaten it with another Drill Run that is coming through. This should be able to knock them out here, and it does knock them out, which is quite nice for us, as now we are still going to be able to get some debuffs onto the opponent's Annihilate, and I am expecting a Bastion in the back, which is going to be a great matchup for our Galarian Stunfisk. So predicting the opponent's team, we should be in a very solid spot here. I can use a shield as they decided to go for the Night/Bait. Great bait by the opponent, but now they can still go for another charge move. I should be able to survive it thanks to the debuff of Icy Wind, and so the Shadow Ball is coming through, and we can align our Stunfisk against the Bastion. And while we have a shield disadvantage, and while the opponent has super effective coverage with that Flamethrower against us, I feel like we are going to be in a great spot here, as we just have to hit those Earthquakes the entire time to win this battle. And yeah, the opponent let the first move go through, hoping for a bait. Did not work out, and we can win this battle. Next opponent, we're going to have one of the rare Pokemon that kinda is a little bit troublesome for this team, which is going to be the Venusaur. Like, yeah, this Pokemon does exist, but also barely anybody is really using it, I have to say. And so, yeah, this team is not really perfectly prepared for this thing. You can still deal with it because we have like neutral matchup with our lead, but I think they usually win this matchup as well. We have a kind of neutral matchup with our Sayswap, and we have a kind of neutral matchup with our Pokemon in the back, but they all have like certain scenarios where we're going to lose against this Pokemon. This player itself, I know them as well. Like, honestly, this player, Galaxy Cobolton, I'm battling him since I think like season 1, like literally every single season at least once. Like, I still remember this name from back in the day, from the first season of Go Bad League. So it is kind of mad to still see them, like still see some of those players that you saw back in the day as well. Here we try to catch a Thunderbolt. Of course, as we can see here, it did work out really, really well for us. Completely not at all, but yeah, like this is kind of game over with that. Like, I had to catch a Thunderbolt in order to have a chance of winning this battle. Like this, there's nothing I can do, and we can move on to the next opponent. Next opponent, we're going to have a victory bell in the lead. What we're going to do here is we're going to get a shield advantage early on by going for one foul play, leave our Sableye alive still, like swap out after this Razor Leaf that came through, and just swap out into the Dugong, because now they're going to be in a farm down range. They might be able to go for an acid spray if they really want to, but they're still forced to use a shield here no matter what they're going to do, because they need alignment. They swap out now into their own Lickitung, which we can now try to debuff with our Icy Wind, and I think I should be able to even reach another Icy Wind in time, as this is very likely just a body slam, which is going to do a lot of damage because we are at -1 stage basically, because they have at -1 attack, we are at -2 defense. And so it is still doing quite a lot of damage, but now they're at -2 attack, and yeah, it's still the same defense as usual, and so they're barely doing any damage against us with both Lick as well as also whatever move they want to go for here. Power Whip coming through, barely doing any damage, and they're going to be able to now take a Rock Slide. They're gonna try to go for the full farm down afterwards. This should be kind of nice, but they swap out into the victory bell and make a huge mistake here by... Oh, never mind, I actually can go for the full farm down. I'm gonna try to go ahead and go for the Rock Slide now as well. As I'm at 100 energy, now I make a huge mistake because I went for one extra fast move, which I should have not done. And so I'm going to be forced to call the bait here, which is at least working out for me. But there has to be something in the back that I can deal with. Let's see what's going to be. It is going to be that Bastion, and again, and like this is the cool thing about that Galarian Stunfisk, all the Bastion, and Bastion is really, really common right now. They're all getting completely wrecked by the Stunfisk here, as we can just go for even baits now at this point, as the opponent has nowhere to go. We can just get some nice damage onto them. Look at the shield coming up. We can use the shield, and this guarantees us the victory at this point, because we can go for that Earthquake in time, knock them out, win the battle, and move on to the next opponent. So let's see what they're going to have here. We're going to have the Cresselia in the lead. Lovely lead for us. They're going to swap out eventually. They'll swap out into the Feraligatr. And this is one of the worst Pokemon to face, by the way, with this team. Like, Feraligatr can be a little bit of a pain. But Dugong is actually kind of fine, especially if you're going to get some nice damage onto them first. And then swap out into the Dugong in order to catch a Hydro Cannon, because Hydro Cannon does barely any damage. And we're going to be able to do exactly this. Now the opponent is in a spot where they have so low HP that we should be able to align ourselves. We see some lag here coming through as well. Again, lag was quite annoying. There was one battle that I just didn't count for it, where I was just like lagged in the beginning for like 2 seconds and like couldn't get any move through, which completely changed the battle. I think it's not in here, but yeah, like it's just... It is what it is. It is what it is. The game currently is not really in a great state. But we can still go for some Icy Winds here against the opponents. Cresselia dropped their attack a little bit lower. They're still forced to go for that Grass Knot. And I actually could decide to go ahead and go into my Galarian Stunfisk, expecting a swap out, but I decided to still go ahead, get some extra energy on my Sableye, swap out now, and look at this. The opponent did not expect a Galarian Stunfisk, I think, with their Drapion here. Like, Galarian Stunfisk is completely gone from the meta. It is kind of mad why nobody's running this Pokemon, because as you're gonna see here, of course, in this video already, this Pokemon is quite insanely good, being able to take any kind of hit, being able to dish out damage quite fast here with a Rock Slide as well as the Earthquake. Well, yes, Earthquake nerf kinda hit it hard. It definitely deserves more usage than it currently has. As we are going to see here now, the Cresselia coming back in. It can knock me out for sure, but we have a ton of energy on our Sableye. Sableye is Shadow, Foul Play is Stab, Foul Play is super effective. We have 2 Foul Plays stored now. This is game over. Even if they want to use a shield here, which they do, like, they are not going to be able to survive this one here. And so it's going to be it for this game. Let's move on into the next opponent. Well, let's see, Scummy in the lead. That is going to be not ideal for us, as we kind of want to swap out eventually here. I could decide to go ahead and go for one Foul Player, but I rather decided to swap out here into my Dugong, use a shield on a very likely Brave Bird, which is totally fine. Everything kind of works actually like I wanted to here at this point, because I kind of really want to get out the opponent's, what's called here Lantern as well, which is going to be great, so we don't have to deal with it with our Galarian Stunfisk, but... At the end of the day, it's still going to be a little bit of a trickier matchup here. We're going to try to go for another drill run, hoping that we can get the knockout against the opponent. Let's see if that's going to work out for us. It is not. They're going to decide to use a shield. And I don't think they're yet in foul play range, so I overfarm by a little bit, maybe too much here. I decided to use a shield onto that serve. I can still go up to another foul play, most likely as well here on a potential CMP type, but it wasn't actually. And this is going to be able to knock them out for sure. They're going to swap out into that Thackery. I can go up to 2 foul plays. I can swap out again and get completely hardwalled. Like, nothing I can do there. Like, there's nothing I can do if my complete back, like my entire backline gets completely hardwalled. There's nothing I can do. Here we're going to have the Golbat in the lead, which is a little bit of a tricky one as well. We saw some lag coming in there as well. I don't think it really mattered. They might get one extra fast move in there because of the lag, but we're gonna swap out here and gonna get out the charger bug. As we can go for the Icy Wind, we are going to be able to swipe one discharge for sure, making this matchup actually not ideal for the opponent, because now we are gonna be able to get some nice damage in even with that drill run. Trying to align myself. If I can align myself, I'm honestly in like such a great spot, but even if I can't align myself, I'm still gonna be in a very decent spot here. Drill run coming through, not going to knock them out, but one more ice shot is going to knock them out. And so we're going to be in a scenario where we have a shield advantage, we have switch advantage, we know that we have a Golbat against us, we have some energy on our lead. We are in a really, really good spot here so far, as drill run is coming through again, getting them a little bit lower, for sure now in rock side range as well, or close to even foul play range. And so I decided to go ahead and go into my own Sableye. Let's see what they're going to... Oh no, actually decided to go into my Galarian Stunfisk for whatever reason. I guess we're still going to be fine here. Icy Wind coming through. That is a great call though for me though, that I went for the no-shit against the Icy Wind. Drill Run still doesn't knock me out here either, as I can go for the Rock Set, which is going to knock them out for sure. Super effective hit, and it is gonna be enough to knock them, as you can swap out into our Sableye. I'll let the move go through, because at this point my win con is just to go for Rock Slide onto my Galarian Stunfisk, and so I decided to let everything go through here, and they still go for the baits, which does not work out at all for them. It's like this, we are still going to be able to even go for another charge move, force the final shield, and like, what do they want to do? We have 2 shields left, we can go for a shield here on a CMP tie, and this is going to be game. Golbat nowhere to go, and this is going to be, yeah, it for that. Good game there. Let's move on to the next opponent. Well, let's see what they're going to have. We're going to have a Lantern in the lead. That's going to be quite a neutral one for us. I guess it's kind of okay for us to have this one. Again, there is some lag involved here, which is not really ideal. But if we're going to be able to hit one foul play, I think we can farm them down. And look at this. The foul play is coming through already. We should be able to see CMP tie on the next one then as well, as we can use a shield here now. Stuff coming through. If you want to use shields, by the way, on this team, it's very likely to be the best case on your lead, because you do quite a lot of damage with it, and it's a little bit squishy as it's a shadow Pokemon. But yeah, Sableye definitely kind of enjoys those shields quite a bit. Thunderbolt coming through, kinda unnecessary as I swap out now into the Typhlosion. I will be able to swap out now though into my Dewgong. And here's one thing, they're gonna go for 1 more Incinerate, getting to that Thunder Punch, super effective damage, but they need 2 more Incinerates, allowing me to get 3 more fast moves in on my own. And this is perfect for us to still get to the Drill Run and knock them out before they can just barely reach the next charge move, which is going to be really good. As now, we're only going to have that Lantern left, which might be able to knock me out here. Well, it's going to be close. If it's a Surf, we might still be able to survive. It is going to be a Surf, and we do survive. And so it's down to the Venusaur, which is going to get a debuff straight into its face with that Icy Wind, doing a ton of damage. And yeah, Sableye can just kind of finish up this battle. They're forced to go for a charge move, and I guess they're hoping here right now there's going to be something like a Whiscash in the back, a Quagsire, something like this. But it's not. It's the Galarian Stunfisk, and this is going to be game. Second to last battle, we're going to have another Golbat here in the lead. That's going to be even maybe better for us, because they're the Shadow variant, and look at the damage that we do with our fast move alone. They swap onto a Digger Speed, which I'm actually quite happy about, because this is going to guarantee us alignment, and I know they need some damage anyway against them, because one Icy Wind is not going to be enough to knock them out. So that foul play itself actually did not hurt me at all, but what hurt me is this attack drop. This attack drop actually changes quite a bit of things, because what we're going to see now is they're going to survive this move, and they're going to be able to go for another charge move, which would have never happened before. And so, yeah, that is going to be quite annoying. Let's see what they decide to go back into. We have still at least the Icy Wind pressure against whatever they want to bring in. It's going to be the Lantern again. If we didn't have the debuff, that would have been so much better for us. But we should be able to just swap out into the Sableye now, as we are going to still do neutral damage here. We can use a shield if we want to. We just need to get the Lantern a little bit lower here with that water gun. It's kind of a scary Pokemon to deal with. As I swap out into the Golbat, we're still going to be in an okay spot here, as you're going to get the shield from the opponent. They're definitely in range for Rock Slide, as we can go for a CMP tie, and this kind of kills the gameplay from the opponent. They actually played it really, really well, but they did not know that I would get to, I think that was like the third foul play, one fast move earlier, and so we are going to be able to now go into our Stunfisk to take a hit. Doesn't matter what they want to go for. If they're going to go for the Poison Fang, that's happy, but look at the Shadow Ball doing barely any damage. I can go and let the next move go through here as well, Poison Fang, totally fine. As I go swap onto the Lantern, and this is actually not so fine, because now the opponent is going to be in a spot where I'm forced to swap out into my Dugong and hope for the best here, but actually I get the Icy Wind off, which is going to knock them out, and so this is going to be a good game, as what is the Golbat here supposed to do? Like, honestly, we can just go for the full farm down with Mudshot and win this battle. Final battle here for today, we have an Azumarill in the lead. How do you play against Azumarill? It's actually quite simple. What you want to do is you kind of want to go ahead and go for one Power Gem first, doing some neutral damage. On perfect alignment, please. Like, if they want to use a charge move, use a shield. Now you're gonna go for one or more fast move and swap out to catch the move, because the opponent was at like 8 bubbles or something. They have to kind of throw then. And now we're gonna see here that we have the opponent's Azumarill already very, very weak enough that we can knock them out with either of our Pokemon. And we are still in a position where we are actually in a quite commanding position in terms of what our Pokemon are looking like, because now we have the Dugong here against the opponent with a ton of energy. We get the shield advantage already, as he can even go for another charge move, and I can decide to use a shield afterwards as well, because that's not going to knock them out, and align myself. And alignment is key for this team. You're going to have 2 Pokemon weak to fighting type Pokemon. You're going to have 1 Pokemon with Icy Wind, which can kind of weaken up the secondary matchup as well if it's going to be something neutral. For example, the Clodsire here is actually a very good matchup for us. But if they use like shields like this before, it's very likely there's going to be another Pokemon in the back that's going to be weak to our ice typing. And I was expecting at this point to be a Gligar in the back here, and so I'm kind of trying to predict this as well, as I swap out straight away, knowing that it would be a Gligar. I have now a ton of energy still on my Sableye, and we're gonna see soon the damage of Foul Play. Foul Play from a Shadow Sableye against a Shadow Gligar is quite ridiculous. As we will see the area is coming through, we can go for the Foul Play, knock them out here, or do we? It is not quite enough, but we're gonna put them into a range where we can easily Mudshot them down with our Galarian Stunfisk, and this is going to be it for this video. Good game there to the opponent, nothing they can do anymore. One more Rock Slide, one more Earthquake is all it takes to win this battle. And that's going to be it for this video. Feel free to leave a like, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.